Council, please come to the 13th, 2024 meeting. At this time, I'd like to ask Scott Keller to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
All right, everybody, if you're wearing a hat, please remove it. First, the flag, put your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and
justice for all.
Thank you, Scott. Well, I'd like to welcome everyone here to our meeting. We're having it virtually via Zoom. And as we've done in the past, I'd ask you to keep your microphone muted until you're called upon to speak. And then you can unmute it at the meeting. And we do have Cindy Grimes as our volunteer co-host of the meeting. So if anybody would like to record the meeting, you can push the and then request permission to record the meeting through Cindy while the meeting's going on here. But otherwise, we're going to go ahead and start off with I think we're going to start off with the agency reports tonight. So let's have the report from Deputy Martinez, if he's here with us, from the
evening, Don.
Morning.
Morning. I hope everyone's doing well.
Yes.
All right. So for the stats for November, we had 0 Part 1 crimes, which brings our yearly total to 4. We had 2 property crimes, which brings it to 16. And that is a 33% reduction in Part 1 crimes, a 60% reduction in property crimes, which an overall crime reduction 7%. I was looking through the actual calls and reports and stuff, and it looks like two of those property crimes are actually going to be active, so that won't be great till they do their audit and change the statistical stuff, because that address actually falls on their side, but sometimes we have those errors. We had 71 calls for service in Agua Dulce. So those were officer-initiated calls where they're not, you guys don't call, but, self-initiated traffic stops or patrol checks of certain areas. And then my last thing is it's still kind of early, but the 19th through the 21st, we're supposed to have another Santa Ana event. We just got through the last one with no power, so please be prepared. Make sure your generators, and you've got plenty of fuel and all that other stuff for that, because it sounds like it's going to be a pretty decent event. You guys got anything for me?
I don't see any hands up, so I think we're looking pretty clear. Thank you very much for the report. We'll continue on. Thank you.
No problem.
All right. Next up, we have the California Highway Patrol report from Officer Delgado, I think, with us tonight, or Dr. Officer Allen. Either one of those two from the California Highway Patrol. If they show up, we'll, So these are the stats for October, it looks like. Mary, is that what we're showing here? Looks like we have 3 stolen vehicle recoveries and 3 misdemeanor DUI. And then on the freeway, we had 2 felony arrests, 4 misdemeanor DUI arrests, and 4 other misdemeanor arrests. Citations and county area: Sierra Highway 19, Agua Dulce Canyon 0, Salada Canyon 0, Sand Canyon 0, Bouquet 1, adjacent county roads 21. So total issues is 41. So we're looking pretty good there. All right. Thank you very much. If anybody has any questions to these, end up going on our website?
No, I just keep them.
Okay, good enough. All right. So next up, we have Los Angeles County Fire Department Community Service Representative Maria.
I am indeed.
All right.
Hope everyone is well.
Yes.
We had in Agua Dulce for October 47 total responses. One was a service call, and that was for a snake. 15 good intent calls, and we had 4 fires. That was really only 3. We had a vehicle fire on the 12th, on the 14th, south of Escondido. And then on the 19th, we had the Fernando incident, northbound 14 at Agua Dulce, which was a 1-acre brush fire with 2 separate starts in it, but they kept it to 1 acre. A little while later, we got another call for another brush fire in that area. The units responded, they went out there, but they determined that it was drift smoke from the Fernando incident. On 21st, we had the Whitney incident off of Sierra Highway, and that was 1 acre, but they did call a second alarm for that because there were structures threatened. There was no damage to any structures from that. They got a handle on it. So that was that, and that is the extent of the report. We have our CERT class going on, and it's been going wonderfully. We have, and I wanted to put a call out to the community. On Tuesday evening, December 10th, this class will graduate. And part of their graduate disaster simulation drill, where we kind of mess up the room and we put victims in weird places, and we have the team come in and search the room, triage the patients, set up treatments, and do head-to-toe assessments on them, and as if it were a real disaster. So we see how they can put their skills to work, everything that they've learned over the previous 6 weeks. The community, if anybody is interested in joining us that evening, Tuesday, December 10th, 6 p.m. at the Women's Club, to be a victim, so that we have a lot of victims for our class to search for and triage and treat. So again, Tuesday, December 10th, 6 p.m. You would probably, any victims that come in, they're welcome to stay for the whole class and through the graduation, but the victim part, the role would probably be done, I would say, maybe even before 8 o'clock. So, Mary, I don't know, can you put something out on Facebook and
Absolutely.
see if we can get people?
Would you like me to have them contact you, or just show up? Or
just show up. They can just show up. The more the merrier.
Okay.
And I see one question. I see waiting patiently with his hand up in the air. Chris, did you have a question?
Chris, will you be a victim for me?
Oh, no. The people I voted for won, so I'm not a victim at the moment. Medical statement, should have done that. The question, I'd be happy to, and we'll put something up on the Agua Dulce Act and Emergencies Facebook page and see if we can get some more volunteers for that, like we did last time.
Yes.
The homeowner, I think, was Larry Doan, and he put something on social media that suggested that one had been started on purpose, because he reported that his mail saw that this side of the hill was on fire, and this wasn't, as you probably know, it wasn't adjacent to Sierra Highway. It was set behind the vineyard that sits next to Le Chien. Popped out of the bushes, basically. So Larry went down with a hose to try and make sure his property was okay, and this guy popped up and said, "Oh, I give you fire." So could you just let us know what's going on there?
Yeah, so we took a report for that one. I don't know. We took it from arson. So we took it from fire arson. He's a named suspect, and it's like an open investigation right now on him. But it was like a mental crisis, the whole incident. So, but that we were aware of it, that instant, because I responded, and we took it from fire arson. Our arson investigators took it over.
And do you like a handle on where this person is?
He lives there. He lives.
Okay.
He lives like right there.
All right.
So,
okay.
Where it started. So yes, we know where he's at.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye out to make sure he doesn't decide this in a week's time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you for jumping in there, because when our cause investigators, so we don't have arson investigators, we have cause investigators. So when it's suspicious, we turn it over to sheriffs, and we turn it over to sheriffs because they do have the arson investigation. And because arson, it then becomes a crime, so it's all sheriff. And once we do that, we're completely out of it.
Great. Wonderful. All right. So any other questions for Maria? Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight and for a wonderful report. Appreciate it.
You are very welcome. Have a good evening.
Next up, we have the report from the Acton Agua Dulce Library, given by librarian Jim Wall. Jim?
Good evening. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Good. Glad to hear. A library going on. First, I'm going to plug tomorrow night. We are going to be bringing out the telescope and checking out the moon and doing some stuff with that. So tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. That'll be happening. The other event I'm going to mention to you guys is happening on Monday, November 18th, between 1 and 3. I've got public health coming out, and they're doing a vaccine clinic. So they're going to be street like any. It is first come, first serve. So if you are interested in getting either of those, I would suggest coming earlier rather than later than that. Kind of along those same lines, I know with the holidays coming up, people are doing a lot of traveling. If you know someone or you yourself are saying, hey, I want to have some COVID tests on hand just in case, I still have them here at the library. I'm still giving.
Do you have any questions for Jim? Looks like we're clear and giving us the great report.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next up, we've got the report from the Department of Public Works, Josie Gutierrez. Josie.
And Joe's not be able to make it tonight. She had a conflict, but I put in the stuff that's happening. The Sierra Highway Phase 4 has been postponed until spring. Free dates are on the agenda. Household hazardous waste, same thing. And I did ask her about the Davenport Agua Dulce Canyon Road issue, and
Right.
Department of Public Works Traffic Investigations Group has initiated the traffic study, and the counts have been ordered. The estimated time frame to complete the study is approximately 20 weeks. Maybe you can contact Julian Chambers, and I've got his email and phone number.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much, Mary. Appreciate that. Now we're on to the 5th District report from Steph.
I think it's Isabel who's here tonight.
Oh, is it Isabel?
Hi, Dawn. Hi, Mary. Hi, everyone. Yeah, it's going to be me tonight. I'm going to be taking over for the foreseeable future. But hopefully I can fill Stephanie's shoes. I think the last time I saw you guys was before the elections, so there's been a lot of big changes. Like, kind of want to touch on important in regards to the county. I'm sure you guys all saw Measure G on your ballot, and I'm sure it was a cluster of all these words that seemed confusing. So I wanted to touch on it. I assume Stephanie months ago when it came forward to the board, but I just wanted to go over it once more. But it did end up passing, and this was basically the measure that increases from 5 to 9 by 2034 after redistricting that they plan on doing in 2030. This measure also adds an elected seated county executive. Currently, the county executive is an appointed position, so this would make it a whole different process, and it would be elected. And the supervisors that are going to be national supervisors, they're going to be staggered in. So there's going to be 2 elected in 2032, and then they will serve a 2-year term, and then there'll be another 2 added, and that'll be basically what the plan is currently, which it could change, but the current plan is that the 2 that served a 2-year term will run again, along with the brand new additional 2. And I know that probably lost a couple of you there, but it's a very, very complicated measure that they're still working out all the details, and it's gonna take a lot of time, and it could even be something that maybe might roll out a little later than they expect. Usually these kinds of things with the county, that that's a possibility, but this is their current plan, and since it's passed now, they're gonna dive right into search and their budgeting and all the different aspects of how they're going to actually roll this out. And I'm happy to take any questions. It's very extensive, so I'm not half of it or part of it, so just if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer. And then other than that, I wanted to mention this to you guys. From the most recent board meeting, the Board of Supervisors unanimously voted by Supervisor Barger and Horvath that supports Governor Newsom's newest efforts to expand and double a tax credit program for businesses affiliated with film and television production. I know that you guys have a lot of film and television production, so I thought some of you may be interested in this. But on October 27th, the governor introduced a proposal to increase the annual allocation to the California Television Tax Credit Program from $330 million to $750 million, which is pretty significant. If approved, if approved by this legislature, will take effect as soon as July 2025. So this was approved unanimously, which is pretty expected. The supervisor, as you guys might know, is a huge supporter of the vision industry. So this was a positive for us. But those are the only things I want to share tonight, and I'm happy to take any questions you guys might have.
Great. Anybody have any questions for Isabel? I think we're looking good. That's great. We appreciate the report and keeping us updated.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. All right. So now we have the report from Tom, our Assemblyman for the California 31st Assembly District, Carlo Basile. Carlo?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got that? Yeah.
Well, I guess I have no camera tonight, but
yeah.
I can speak.
Okay.
The legislature right now is out of session. Didn't everybody just hear they're going back into session? It's a technicality. The session that was newly declared by the governor will start on December the 2nd. That is with the new assembly, not with this older one that's already finished for the year. A lot of things have been happening having to do with fuel. The latest one was a ruling by the California Forces Board to adopt a low carbon fuel standard, or should we say a lower carbon fuel standard. It will substantially change the requirements for coal and the gasoline and diesel and even in natural gas, I suppose. But it all will have an impact. But the impact is not of cleaner air, but also of higher costs for the commuters. There are so many, not just in Agua Dulce, but also throughout the Antelope Valley. And the Assemblyman went down last Saturday, spoke in front of the board in Riverside, spoke against this adoption. He was unsuccessful, but he's in there. He's fighting to keep lower prices and some idea of economic impact from all these rules that they should hear if there isn't, what the economic impact will be. They have decided to review it every year. That was a little bit of a change, and we'll hear more about it as this program rolls on. It is not there is no automatic price increase. There is no added tax. It's just a matter of if you make gasoline more expensive to make, it will probably cost a little more. So anyway, things like that are keeping the Assemblyman busy. It was a little extra. It was not part of the legislative session things. Outside of that, he is busy in district, visiting constituents, participating in a lot of Veterans Day events and Marine Corps military ball type of things. I think he attended 2 already, and he's planning on a 3rd one, so it's going to be busy. And then with that said, I could tell you that anybody could probably see him on a good weekend running around. All right. If there's any questions, any problems, please call our office, 661-267-7636. And then it doesn't just include commentary on the legislature. It includes any call for assistance in government programs, especially state government programs. Perhaps you made a call to have graffiti removed from the freeway by Caltrans, and they're ignoring you. We could help with that. We can help with a lot of other things like that. All right? Any question?
Yeah, Carlo, were you able to find out anything about the LA Regional Water Quality Control Board issues on this grievance that just seemed to be there was a number of constituents that had contacted you, and you were going to check into that?
No, they're still checking into it. I turned it over to our legislative analyst, who is still running through the stuff. He hasn't gone back to me, so I haven't been able to report to you guys.
Okay.
Just no answer.
Anybody else have any question for Carla? All right. Thank you for the report, Carla. Just how things change.
Yes, I will.
All right. Great. Next up, we have the California Senator in the 21st District, Thomas Moreno, I believe, is his spokesperson. Thomas? Thomas isn't here with us tonight, I don't think. All right, we'll come back. Nope. And U.S. Congressional District 27, Mike Garcia. Do we have a word from Jackie by any chance? Jackie's not here either. All right.
Hey, Don, before we go to the next section 13, I just have a general question. Scott Wilk retired. Looks like Suzette Valladares is going to take his place. And similarly, Mike Garcia, I think, was put to the post by George Whitesides. How do we then re-engage with the council? Do we write to them and offer them a spot on the next agenda to address the community? How does this all work?
Well, in the past, they've just attended our meeting and given us their email, and we've been able to include them when we sit about our agenda and events that we're going to be having. I'm here again. I'm assuming, and maybe that's not the way it works. But Mary, maybe you can jump in here. What?
Lauren, if I may, sorry, I don't want to, I'm not speaking on behalf of any of the other offices, but I have meetings with them all, weekly, so I kind of hear things here and there, but from what I understand from most do a transition, the ropes, who the community groups are, so I'm sure they'll be informed, but I'm sure it wouldn't hurt to reach out as well.
Okay. Great. And when are they actually seated?
So I know that for FIST, they only have a couple weeks left. I believe it's November 20, the week of the 20th, 23rd or 4th, one of those days that they are officially done. It's one of their last days. And then I think they have a couple null period where you might need to, if for some reason anyone needs something urgently, you may have to reach out. Let's just say if it's a state matter, you could reach out to the assemblywoman instead. The couple days that they'll have like a null period. So, but they'll transition them out. But for the congressman, I'm not sure of the exact date. If I'm correct, I believe they have till the end of December. Good idea to call them.
Great. We appreciate you stepping in. And anything, if you can pass our information along to those newly seated, we would appreciate it.
Yeah, and what I do is in January, after our December meeting where the council members are installed and we elect with the new officers, I send a roster out to the media and any of the elected officials. Okay. So, and at that time, I can publicize when our meetings are and invite them to join us.
Great. Wonderful. Okay, so we've got a...
I kind of think I'd like to wait until January once they get their feet on the ground to move forward with that.
Yeah. Sounds
Mary, they should be, in Sacramento, the swearing-in date is the 2nd of December.
Okay.
Wouldn't be too early.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. All right. So next up, we have, I believe, Heather, if she's here. Heather Turp, Watershed Area Steering Committee, Major W, Watershed Coordinator. Either Heather or Amanda.
Amanda. Amanda, is that you?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
Good evening, it's Amanda Begley with Tree People, and I serve as your watershed coordinator through LA County's Measure W, the Safe Clean Water Program. We've been serving in this role for several years now, and years back that we conducted a strengths and needs assessment. And through that process, the issue of wells going dry in Acton and Agua Dulce came to our attention. Coordinator is that we are looking for funding opportunities to meet the needs on water issues to local residents, things that impact your water supply, your water quality, and bring some sort of community investment benefit. Knowing that you will have this issue of the wells going dry, when DWR released some funds called the Urban Multi-Benefit Drought Relief Program about 1.5 years ago now, we went after it to law that part of the funds could be paid to reimburse folks for money incurred through getting water hauled to their residents. So I think there's a link in your agenda. So there's a Google form. There were some issues when we first launched it. I want to tell you those have all been straightened out now. So if you tried at some point and weren't able to do it, it should work well now, but we anticipate about 700 residents in the area getting reimbursed around $2,000. So I recommend taking advantage of this opportunity. The first round of applications will end on December 31st of this calendar. See how many applicants we get. There's also the ability with this funding to give folks an extra water storage tank if they want. The first priority is going to reimburse people for a home, and then there's also the possibility of getting an additional tank. So we will see what happens on December 31st, how many applications. We've received about 20 at this point, so there's lots more room for folks to get reimbursed. Since reach out to me or Heather. There is the rural water supply email address or my own email address. There's a flyer posted, I believe, at the Acton Agua Dulce library right now. Shared one with Mary, so I can answer any questions or reach out to me at any point if you have questions. I've also helped some folks when they've had to troubleshoot things that have come up when they've done the application, but we tried to make it as simple as possible. So bring some relief to you all for the amount of money that is being spent in your area on home water.
Great. Thank you, Amanda. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for Amanda? I think we're looking good. Forward to working with you in the future.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. If anybody wants that application, they can go to the website and download the form.
It's probably a good point in the meeting because it's related to water to raise this, but I happened a little too quickly for me to get it to Mary to get it into the agenda. But I got an email yesterday from a grid corporation, and they control what are called the state revolving funds for water, projects for various communities, and they've just launched a program that allows private well owners in about 4 states to request a free analysis of the water quality in their wells for arsenic, iron, manganese, some of these things. Quite a few people, I think, with private wells don't test their water. I think into the chat, maybe what we can do in the next meeting agenda is actually publicize it more widely to people locally.
Okay. Great. Sounds good. All right. Any other comment? Answer questions for a minute? Wonderful. Thank you very much. It looks like, yeah, okay. So the next watershed steering meeting, committee meeting is going to be December 9th, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. at Santa Clarita City Hall. And that's on Valencia Boulevard. So if anybody wants any information, you can visit our agenda or visit the website there. Next up, we have old business, which is, first topic is the RTG Investments Agua Dulce Residential Project T5038. I believe tonight we're going to have a report from Chris, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, short report. Regional planning still haven't replied to our public records request that we sent them back in June. Understanding of what improvement discussions have happened on that piece of property that's immediately east of the entrance to the project, that's theoretically going to have a tank on it to support all those hundreds of acres of property that haven't been discussed. And then separately, I know another lawsuit has popped up. This is a recurrence of the dispute between Mr. Estes, and RTG. It's a breach of contract lawsuit, I believe, amongst other things. And essentially, I think, having read the cover sheets to it, simply says, look, RTG's statements before the court at 2 previous lawsuits last year, they clearly have zero intent of honouring those statements that they made as evidenced by what's going on. And I think the letter deep from the geologist was part of the evidence deck there to really underscore some of the points that Mr. Estes and his legal team have made about some aspects of the project, particularly, and also the inability of the site to support the septic systems that are being proposed for the first 68 homes on the project. And that's it.
Thank you very much. Look forward to hearing any updates in the future. Also, we have, if anybody is here from the Agua Dulce Neighbors 2021 committee. The committee would say we'll go ahead and see if you have something to share with us. If not, we're going to move right on to our reports. Report is the president's report, and here again, we were discussing earlier the meeting participation, and we are going to continue to have an in-person hybrid meeting once every quarter for right now. Those in-person hybrid meetings will be March, June, September. Actual December meeting is going to be in-person only. So we will continue the discussion and see what kind of participation we have in the future.
Don, is it possible just to kind of poll the people that we've got on the call right now on continuing the Zoom meeting format? Because that, and just kind of explain the whole hybrid stuff, that nobody's showing up, that what we had talked about earlier.
Okay. Well, at our administrative portion of the meeting, which was held between 6:30, the participation that we've been getting from the community when we have a hybrid, and there's not a problem with the hybrid. It's just it takes more setup, and we seem to have a problem at the women's club. So it appears that with the Zoom meetings that we've been having recently or throughout this year, we have pretty good participation. Anywhere from 15 to 35 members normally show up. When we had the last meeting, which was in September, we had 2 people show up, and so I would like to know from those that are out there. It looks like we have 15 participants. What kind of feeling do you have toward going 100% Zoom our meetings? Does it seem to be easier for you to connect in and keep alerted as to what's going on, or do you think you would benefit more? We have the workshop, SR 14, North Los Angeles County Safety and Mobility Improvements Project, also known as PA/ED-Metro. Is that the certified letters that we got mailed to us? Okay, all right. Now, we received 7 certified tailing, a whole lot of information. And if anybody would like a copy of that particular letter, please stop by the office at Boston Henry. And because I've got here, I would like to pick one up. And basically it details the different timelines and what's going to be discussed and whatnot. Is there anything else that needs to be brought up on that? Money that you know?
Right now they're just in the scoping process, so they are taking input as to what all needs to be covered for the safety and mobility improvements. The Lancaster, which is the 14th, which is tomorrow, and then the second meeting is Saturday in Santa Clarita at the center from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then there's a third one on November 19th, 6 to 8, the Palm Park Recreation Center.
Yeah.
So they're just taking information at this point on what to study, but they need to increase the lanes and make it a whole lot safer than it is, because driving that 14, I'm telling you, I pray for those people who are out there every day, because It is not a pleasant thing to be doing.
Well, and then they take Sierra Highway more frequently, Speedway.
Yep.
And anyway, so yeah, I'm sure it's all going to be taken into consideration. Hopefully they can fix the 14 freeway. It seems to be wide enough. It just seems like the lines are, but anyway.
Yeah, I remember back probably 5 years ago, Lou Vence was all over that on saying the lanes, the wideness of the road there, the lanes, because especially after Sand Canyon, where everything before Sand Canyon and after Sand Canyon is the word.
It's like a funnel, you know.
Yeah.
But, all right, so that's going to be discussed.
Those letters that we got are pretty much available online. So if the anybody reads this agenda here and goes to that metro.net 14 safety URL, they'll be able to access the same information, an explanation of what they're considering online as well.
Okay. Well, if anybody's going to print it out, I have it already printed out via a certified letter mailed to each one of us. So it's here at the office to pick that up. Incoming correspondence for a notice. Regional planning plans filed. There was a whole bunch down there, if I'm not mistaken, down there by Sleepy Valley. Looks like someone purchased a whole lot of different lots and then had the question, wanted to build 35 to 40 residential dwellings on one of the parcels. And I don't know. I mean, it's something, obviously regional planning is going to be involved in that, but to me it seemed like there were a whole lot of little parcels. It seems like, with a requirement through LA County as far as road, as far as fire department, and as far as health department well requirement minimum, pretty difficult to build a house even on 5 acres anymore.
Yeah, there's two challenges there. The 14-acre lot where they were mentioning 35 to 40 homes is exactly that. It's a 14-acre lot. It's on the side of a hill, sitting within the SEA, the significant ecological area, and it's currently zoned agricultural. Okay. So unless they're showing up with a suitcase full of cash to regional planning under the table, I doubt they'll be very successful in that pursuit.
Okay. All right. So we also have 33433 Agua Dulce Canyon Road, active conditional use permit for an 18T fan. We got some other items that are listed there, each if anybody's interested in our agenda, which is available on our website. At this moment, we're at open forum portion of the meeting. Anybody who would like this community oriented, we will allow 3 minutes for that particular talk. Anybody? All right, good enough. Any report on the high-speed rail from anyone who's present? If not, we're going to go on to committee. The committee, election committee chair, Rosie Heffley. Rosie, you got your microphone muted there, so if you want to unmute that thing and let us.
Okay, we did not have an election on November 5th because all of the incumbents, applicants, Mary Johnson, Candy Clemente, Kathy Segura, and Cliff Grind, all qualified, and they were all, they all said they would run for the consult, so therefore the installation will happen in December, at the December meeting. Now, in the meantime, so we will have a special election after the first of the year, 2025, to fill Candy's position, and that's about the end of it.
Okay. And
Isabel, if I may, Don.
Yes, please.
Isabel, if you're on the call, I think you are. typically what happens is at this particular face-to-face meeting that we have in December, would normally attend that, and then would be the person who installs the re-elected and newly elected council members. So I know that you're standing in for at the moment, but if you could let us in Stephanie's capacity to do that, it would be much appreciated.
Right. Okay, well, we've got about a month to go, so we'll see. According to the filming, it looks like there was 4 shoots. Parks from Mayor Johnson.
Okay, there was an interpretive sign dedication and celebration at Vasquez Rocks on November 9th. I was unable to attend, but Catherine Segura represented the council. Catherine, if you wanted to give just a brief report on that.
And unmute, sorry, there.
Okay.
It was lovely. I'm really glad that I went. They had some actual Native American Indians there performing, which was, they cut the ribbon. It was very nice. It started late, so a lot of the people got up and left to go on the hike. But it was really nice, and I'm glad that I didn't embarrass the council. I didn't do anything bad.
Great, we appreciate that.
Yeah, I told Mary I didn't get on any tables and dance or anything like that.
Well, we'll say that for the next celebration, and that's more of a that for our December meeting.
The signage is great because they're so worried about people getting lost, and in the past 6 months since they've had the signage there, they haven't had to rescue someone.
Oh, that's right. I'm so glad to hear.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Okay, and then the other thing is after the first of the year, I'm going to a meeting with the park superintendent and the equestrians to kind of work out any issues between the park and the equestrians to the year.
Perfect. Wonderful. Water stewardship, we hope it rains again this year. It sounds like they're calling for a La Nina, which means little rain, but we'll see. Right now it seems like wells are kind of holding their own, but this is the time of year, it's the longest since we've had any measurable rain. So wells obviously are at their low point. So hopefully we make it to the middle of next month and we get back to some normal, decent rainfall, which obviously helps out. The shorter days, the cooler nights, everything is a big plus for the next 3 or 4 months, unless it ends up being. Ways and Means, Scott Keller, anything to report?
Let's pray for some water, Don, and a good winter, but nothing to report for Ways and Means.
All right. Does it want Chris? Anything to report?
Yeah, CERT classes graduate on the 10th of December. And I'm now fully stocked. I think there was a little bit of budget left over that's going to be used for some additional supplies to go in the CERT container. But should things go pear-shaped, we're going to deal with it.
Good. Great.
Without relying on the Antelope Valley CERT people.
Yeah. And it's here at home, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Announcements. The household hazardous waste and e-waste collection, and they're all listed here in the announcement portion of our agenda. Mattress recycling, vaccine clinic, as was mentioned, Osage Library. Our next town council meeting will be December 11th, 2024. Meeting will be in person only at the Agua Dulce one. We've already discussed the refreshments. So any future agenda items, meeting format for 2025 is already listed down there. So looks like we covered everything. A motion to adjourn at this moment from anyone.
I will do that.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Oh, so we got a first, we got a second?